It usually starts the same way for almost every dog owner because no matter how much space exists in the room, the dog somehow ends up curled directly against your feet by the end of the night. You move slightly, and the dog adjusts position immediately. You stretch your legs, and somehow the dog quietly moves with you like it already predicted where your feet were about to go before you even realized it yourself. At first, it just feels comforting because there is something strangely calming about knowing your dog chose that exact spot beside you while the entire house slowly settles into silence. But after a while, many owners begin wondering if there is actually a deeper reason dogs seem so determined to sleep specifically near their owner's feet instead of somewhere else entirely. And once you start paying attention to the behavior closely, the pattern becomes difficult to ignore. Some dogs refuse to sleep unless they are touching their owner physically. Some quietly place their body across the owner's feet during stressful moments. And some dogs that normally act independent throughout the day suddenly become extremely attached once nighttime arrives and the environment becomes quieter and more vulnerable. The explanation begins thousands of years before modern homes, couches, and bedrooms ever existed. Long before dogs became household companions, their ancestors survived through social group behavior where safety depended heavily on remaining physically close to trusted members of the pack. Sleeping near each other provided warmth, security, environmental awareness, and protection against possible threats during vulnerable resting periods. That instinct never fully disappeared. Modern domestic dogs still carry many of those ancient social attachment behaviors even though their environment looks completely different today. And because humans gradually became the emotional center of most dogs' lives, many dogs now naturally seek physical closeness during sleep the same way their ancestors once stayed close to trusted pack members. Around this point, many owners begin realizing the behavior is not random comfort seeking alone. For many dogs, sleeping at their owner's feet represents emotional security, environmental awareness, routine, attachment, and instinct all operating together at the same time. Dogs often choose the feet specifically because that location allows them to remain physically connected without fully interfering with the owner's movement or space. It is close enough to feel emotionally reassuring while still allowing the dog to monitor the environment comfortably. Many dogs also prefer foot-level positioning because it provides a surprisingly strategic observational location inside the room. From there, the dog can often monitor doors, movement, sounds, and surrounding activity while staying physically connected to the owner simultaneously. This is especially common in breeds naturally wired toward environmental awareness and protective observation. Some dogs appear deeply relaxed while sleeping near their owner's feet, but they still remain surprisingly responsive to unusual sounds or movement during the night. Owners often notice the dog lifting its head immediately after hearing unfamiliar footsteps, outside noises, hallway movement, or changes inside the home. This environmental awareness is one reason many dogs instinctively prefer sleeping near trusted humans rather than completely isolated areas. From the dog's perspective, staying nearby often feels emotionally safer and strategically smarter at the same time. Warmth also plays a much larger role than many people realize. Human body heat naturally creates comfort for dogs during rest periods, and feet often provide steady warmth without excessive movement compared to other parts of the body. Dogs naturally seek comfortable temperature zones while sleeping, especially during colder months or inside air-conditioned environments. That combination of warmth and emotional closeness becomes extremely reinforcing over time. Eventually, the dog may begin choosing that sleeping location automatically every single night. Routine itself becomes emotionally powerful for dogs because dogs generally feel calmer when familiar patterns repeat consistently. Once sleeping near the owner's feet becomes part of the nightly household routine, many dogs continue doing it simply because the behavior now feels emotionally normal and predictable. That predictability matters more to dogs than many people initially understand. Dogs often become emotionally attached not just to people, but also to repeated environmental rhythms connected to safety and comfort. Nighttime routines carry especially strong emotional significance because resting periods naturally increase vulnerability. For many dogs, remaining physically near trusted humans during sleep simply feels instinctively correct. Interestingly, some dogs become far more attached to sleeping near their owner's feet during stressful periods specifically. Changes inside the household, emotional tension, storms, unfamiliar environments, guests, travel, illness, or disruptions in routine can all strengthen proximity-seeking behavior dramatically. During uncertain moments, many dogs instinctively move closer to the people they trust most. This is one reason owners sometimes notice sudden changes in sleeping behavior after emotional or environmental shifts occur inside the home. A normally independent dog may suddenly begin sleeping directly against the owner's feet more frequently than before. The behavior often reflects emotional reassurance rather than manipulation or dominance. At the same time, emotional attachment is still not the entire story. Some dogs simply enjoy maintaining awareness of owner movement during vulnerable resting periods. Sleeping near the feet allows the dog to detect movement instantly if the owner stands up, walks away, or responds to something during the night. This is particularly common in dogs strongly connected to household monitoring routines. The dog may appear deeply asleep while still remaining surprisingly aware of changes around the environment. That balance between rest and environmental awareness reflects how dogs evolved socially over thousands of years. Many dogs never fully switch off mentally the way humans often do during sleep. Instead, they remain partially responsive to changes in sound, movement, scent, and environmental rhythm throughout resting periods. Sleeping near trusted humans helps reinforce emotional safety while maintaining environmental awareness simultaneously. Some owners worry this behavior automatically signals unhealthy dependence or separation anxiety. In most cases, it does not. A relaxed dog calmly sleeping near your feet usually reflects healthy attachment, emotional trust, routine comfort, and instinctive social behavior rather than emotional instability. The important difference is whether the dog can still relax independently when needed. Dogs that panic intensely during brief separation, become emotionally distressed constantly, or cannot settle without physical contact may require confidence building and more structured independence over time. But most dogs sleeping at their owner's feet are simply expressing trust in one of the most instinctive ways dogs know how. The behavior often says far more about emotional security than emotional weakness. Many owners also underestimate how emotionally observant dogs become during quiet nighttime periods. Dogs often notice subtle breathing changes, movement patterns, emotional tension, illness, restlessness, and altered routines surprisingly quickly while resting nearby. This awareness strengthens the emotional connection many owners feel when their dog consistently chooses to sleep at their feet night after night. Because eventually the behavior stops feeling random. It starts feeling intentional. And in a world where humans spend most of the day distracted by noise, screens, schedules, stress, and constant movement, there is something deeply grounding about an animal that still finds comfort in doing something as simple as quietly falling asleep beside the person it trusts most.